Loading, loading, strike with the lyrics like I'm bowling, bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling, rolling. Didn't wanna listen, but I told him one more time. Your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. These raps here are golden, golden. Cards on the table, there's no folding. Spit bars at the club, zoning, zoning. TikTok come to London, get ripped off. Man get pissed off when I start lift off. Sweet like flavors, cookie and biscuit. Round here, yeah, the bars I get rich off. Picked up my song, yo, every time I tripped up. Little petty kid in the big rock. Me and my G's do everything mix up. Full circle, now everybody linked up. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent. Always moving up, just leveling. Constantly telling them rhyming, bridging. Cycle through these streets, I'm pedaling. Hibernating them bombs, she's back again. Oh, cause a little fire on the track again. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Icon, icon, yeah, if you want buff, we can go psycho. Psycho, psycho, head to head, bout to bout, turn the mic on. Mic on, mic on. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Icon, icon. Yeah, I don't mind, I'll do it for the hell of it, yeah. Elevate bars, I regulate, yeah. UK, wheel up the tune, just meditate. If it didn't get it by now, then it kinda late. Man thinks he's a bad man, but he's kinda bait. Live every day like it's my last, celebrate. Mind on the task, we calibrate. Loaded, loaded, strike to the lyrics like I'm bowling, bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling, rolling. Didn't wanna listen, but I told him. One more time, your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. Too bad, these vibes here are golden. Cards on the table, there's no folding. Spit more than I can't zoning, zoning. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent. Always moving up, just leveling. Constantly telling them rhyming, breathing. Cycle through these sheets, I'm pedaling. Hibernating them bomb sheets back again. Oh, cause the little fire on the track again. Turn the music on, vibe like an icon.
Yes, guys, I'm so welcome to the Cardiff City Fan Show live at the Rummer Tavern. And as you can see, I'm the smallest person on the podcast, as per usual. But it's great to be here. We're going to talk all things Cardiff City. At the moment, I'm joined by ex-Cardiff City defender, towering above me by you, Lee Jarman. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah. Wet and windy.
Yeah, I meant the weather's awful. I haven't driven in roads in Cardiff being that flooded, but I don't think I've ever seen anything. Went to pick Will up and it was just all over the place. But we're here. We're going to talk Cardiff. And also to the right of Lee, we've got Matthew Angel. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, all good for a Monday. Can't complain.
Don't
complain anyway. So.
And then we've got producer Will in the background, who, if it all goes wrong and it goes off air, it's his fault. There we go. And that's what he gets for not. He refuses to come on camera, so he just gets the blame for everything. But no, he'll be joining us soon. We're still waiting on a couple of people. Hopefully they'll come, but the weather is so bad that we'll go with what we got, man. And there is plenty to talk about. Obviously on the weekend it was the Norwich City game. In my prediction video for that, I think I predicted 3-1 to Cardiff. I thought Cardiff were gonna. I thought it would be quite a comfortable game, like Cardiff been banging form, especially at home. Norwich have been dreadful. It didn't quite turn out like that though. What went wrong with it, Lee, for Cardiff, Jim?
I was just saying to Will, then it seems a common theme this season where we've been in good position to just throw it away right at the end. And I think Leicester, Ipswich, and now Norwich. I mean, to be fair, you look at the other three teams, they're all good teams as well.
Yeah.
I think you've got to take that into consideration. But some people say, "Oh, well, you can work on it," or is it something that's happening too often? I don't know if there's something you can stop. Maybe it's just a little bit of concentration. I know Bullets come out and blame the subs a little bit, which
I thought the subs were weird on Saturday. I got to be honest, because in fairness to him, I think in recent games his subs have made a difference, but I didn't see why he needed to make the changes that he made, or all of them, and I didn't understand at that time, because I thought we were on top at that point. We looked relatively comfortable at that point. All right, Joe Rolls looked like he might need to come off, so maybe in for Wintle. But Robinson and Bolo were the best two players on the pitch, probably, but certainly on our side. Yeah. They were causing a lot of problems. But managers these days, I think, Matt, have got this thing, haven't they, where they seem to have certain points in the game where they make substitutions no matter what's going on.
Yeah, it seems that way. And like you said, a couple of posts since the weekend, whereby slating the manager, and they didn't do it a week before, and against Bristol when Colwell come on and scored 𝐷w𝐰. But I think you've got to look at different games. Not all games go the same way. And like I said, when they put the board up for all 3 changes to come off, I was quite surprised that, like you said, with Walls, he did put his hand up a couple of times looking at the bench. I think, I'm not sure he picked up or not, or he was tired, but I was quite surprised to see all 3 go off at the same time, and especially Robinson and Bowler, who without doubt were our best players on the field.
It disrupts the team, doesn't it? It disrupts the flow of everything when you make like multiple changes. And I think what I find interesting is like, I've seen a lot of fans on social media since Saturday moaning and slating, and they were booing on Saturday as well. That's disappointing for me, and I'll tell you why. Because I think the manager's come a long way in a very short space of time. Like the last probably 5 years, but certainly the last 2 or 3 have been painful. Like not just flirting with relegation and coming very close at certain points, but also just the football that we played has been awful. It's been very like stereotypical dinosaur football, like long ball.
I thought we went back a little bit like that on Saturday, though. I don't know. They were playing long balls up to 𝐷w𝐰, and it was just, he had no support around him. I did.
That's been a rarity though this year, hasn't it? I think he's changed that quite quickly. Like even you going back to the Swansea game, like I say it a lot, but that's the Swansea game. I haven't seen a Cardiff team pass the football like that and be that comfortable for a very long time, especially in a derby. Like, what do you think of Bullet so far, Lee? Do you think he's doing a good job? Do you think
I mean, I've gone off the Swansea game, obviously a massive result, and then I don't get to a lot of games because I'm obviously still committed to other football, but I went to the Bristol City game and Cardiff was comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think if you go back to last year where it was like really erratic, and you might get a 1 win in 3 and then it seemed really comfortable. And like going back to what you said about the subs, I think it's just become a common trend in football. I think if you look at the Tottenham-Chelsea game last week, hell of a game, but I'd love to count how many subs they made.
Yeah, just constant. Like.
And I think the flip side of it, maybe you took Robinson and Bowler off Saturday just to shore things up. I think in the modern game, I think the other side of you could be looking to catch them on counter-attack as well. So when Norwich start to come onto you, rather than sitting back and trying to choke up pressure, those 2 types of players probably on the break, they're the 2 players you want.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like looking at the international break, we've got 2 weeks off. It's not a case of game midweek, take them off. I think sometimes, not just saying Bullet, I'm saying managers in general now, I think they've probably become a bit too clever in terms of the subs.
Yeah.
And like
overthinking it.
Overthinking it. Look, massive day. The week before when I was down when 𝐷w𝐰 comes on and scores, no one's saying, we need to keep making changes. I just don't know whether it's become a common trend, with managers now. They think, right, 60 minutes, these players are fitter than they've ever been, they're quicker than they've ever been. Why is it a tendency not to play for 90 minutes?
Yeah.
And the other thing is also tough to come off the bench as a sub. It's really tough, not only physically but mentally to come off the bench, especially with the 2-1 up when you're coming on a sub. Sometimes you've got nothing to gain either. And different if you're coming on 2-1 down and you score 2 and it's 3-2. It's a little bit different,
Yeah, you've got a bit more freedom on you if you're chasing. But the weird thing was as well is like we're 2-1 up, and it's like he's obviously trying to fresh legs, shore things up a bit. But actually, if you look at it, he's bringing on 2 of the 3 players he's bringing on are players he's singled out for not working hard enough defensively. In Tanner and Colwell, he said that they haven't quite, done what he wants going backwards. So it seems weird then to bring them on for 2 players who were, all right, they might not be defensive players, but they're working hard, they're doing well, they're playing well. So it seems weird to take them off to then bring on 2. I've been banging the Colwell drum probably since the start of the season, saying I want him to play when Ramsey's not playing, and let him have a run of games at number 10, particularly at home. But it wasn't the right time to bring him on Saturday, I didn't think, because Robinson was bossing things. I thought he was excellent on Saturday. But ultimately, I think the subs disrupted us a little bit. I don't think that was what cost us the goal. What cost us the goals was we completely switched off. Both of them.
We had so many chances as well. We went 2-1.
That Grant's chance.
We left so many chances out there as well. And Grant Norwich had a couple of chances where 𝐷w𝐰 made a good save. Was it Mark McGuinness dived in and had a shot block? But you know, we could have been 3 or 4 up. It was just them one-on-one chances again. Like you said, Grant went through.
Just needed a bit more height to it, didn't
Yeah.
he? With Grant.
And in fairness, I think the keeper done well because he was
Yeah,
straight
he
up.
was out on him quickly. Do you know, it's funny though, I saw a lot of people criticising, and this is one of my real pet hates with like social media football fans now, is everything's like reactive and instinct and stuff. And like people slagging off Romeo, saying how he was terrible and this. And I was just like, this is the problem that I brought up a couple of weeks ago, in that Panzo and Romeo and Evo Adams, if you like they're not getting any minutes at all. So like when they're coming in, they're playing completely cold. They haven't had 5 minutes here and there. There's no reserve league like back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's like they're coming in, at least with like your Colwells, your Tanners, they're getting 20 minutes, half hour here and there. Like the defenders are getting nothing because of how well the back five is playing. And Romeo just looked rusty. I really do. I like Romeo. I think he's a good footballer. He's a good backup. He can play either side. He can play in midfield. He's good on the ball. But he just looked like someone who hasn't played. How difficult he is as someone who obviously...
I think the big thing with that is a tough shift as well. Like I said, I don't get down a lot, but obviously Perry and G now, he's become like
my hero.
Yeah, a massive. And over the years, Cardiff fans have taken to players.
Yeah.
Straight away,
That cold.
Rummer, he's going to come in. I just look now, and NG's our top scorer. Is top scorer?
Yeah, I think he's top scorer.
So he's becoming like a bit of a cult figure at Cardiff. So whenever he comes out the team and probably Romeo comes in, however well he does, they're probably going to look
you're always compared to him, isn't it? And I think the thing to remember with Perry and G is like, one, he's been here, a long time now, and he's settled. But also, like, he plays week in, week out, same position, same role, does it very, very well. And like I say, Romeo has just had nothing. Like, he's played a couple of EFL games and that's it.
I think going back to the Caldwell point, like I dad was a kid when he was in the academy, 13, and he shot a can. He's 6'5", and his brother was on the bench Saturday, and his brother's going to be a good player as well. But like the thing that's always leveled at young players is consistency.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is, how can you get consistency when you're never playing? So you're coming on for 20 minutes, then you're playing, then he scores, and then he's the next best thing, then he's on the bench, then he, you look at the cycle of a young player, in 3 weeks he's gone from hero to now Bullet saying, it's basically his fault we lost.
Yeah.
Part of it. So, and then as a young kid, it's always aimed at you that you're not consistent enough. But sometimes you need that manager to go, do you know what? Ramsey's out, Ruben, you're playing the next 5 games no matter what.
Yeah.
Rather than that, he comes on, he's on a massive high from that goal at Bristol, hell of a goal. And then that's, the life of a footballer. He's waking up this morning or yesterday. Well, I've been blamed for the loss.
Do you think the manager would have spoken to him then, Lee, privately after he made them comments? Should he have spoken to him?
He should have, but whether he did or not. But the other thing is, you go back to the great managers, it's never open house. I've been on the other side, and I've been a fan as well. The fans looking in straight away, no matter what, however much they like Caldwell, they go, he's ruined my Saturday, he has, because Bullet said he has.
Yeah.
Straight away, what are you expecting to get out of Caldwell now? And next Saturday he plays or comes on.
He's going to be back to being
Yeah,
I can see that.
And in 2 weeks, he's gone, like I said, I was down the Bristol game, he skipped inside 2 players, smashing them for the net. He's thinking, here we go, Ramsey's out. And the other thing, touching on Ramsey, I think, look at it, is a great signing if he plays. I was a massive believer at the start of the season. If you got 23 games out of Ramsey, and the reason I say 23, I think it's 46 league.
Yeah.
If you get half the games out of him, and I'd be even inclined to say, if he played every home game, if you got every home game out of Ramsey this season, I think a lot of those games are simple. I know he's played in a few of them, maybe the Leicester games and that. But in terms of finishing chances when it's pressure, he would have probably made it 3 or 4 Saturday. Not only that, you can give him the ball and he'll either hold on to it, he'll get a free kick or he'll do something. I think we probably underestimate the effect he's having. Like, if I'm honest, in the summer when he signed off, bloody hell, he's not going to play enough games. The championship being a championship is so like Saturday, Tuesday. And I think as Cardiff fans, signed Ramsey. If somebody's turned around and said, look, Aaron Ramsey's going to play every home game this year, forget travelling to flipping wherever, Blackburn on a Tuesday night, wherever it is, make sure he's right for the home games. And I think he probably had a couple of thousand to the crowd and a buzz around the crowd as well. So I think we can underestimate how much of a loss he is.
Yeah, I think they've done really well because they've been on quite a good run without him.
And no one's mentioned him, but
no. But I think he makes such a massive difference when he's there. I think it took Robinson a couple of games to get going because he hadn't played. Same thing. And I think with Colwell, this is in my preview video which I done last week. Like I said, it's a home game. Norwich are in bad form. Colwell's on a high. This is the game to start him, and it feels almost harsh on Robinson because he's done quite well. But I just felt like it was the perfect situation and moment to give him a start. And look, it's like you said, it's very difficult to come off the bench and just make a difference because first you got to find the pace of the game, then you're just trying to find, and the other thing, the referee. Well, we will talk about the referee in a minute because I want to talk about refereeing generally. But I've got a couple of things I want to just ask you really quickly. Right? Do you think they should bin off this under-23 league shit and get back to a genuine reserve team? So have an under-18s and then have a reserve team, which is effectively the 23s and the first team players who aren't playing.
Yeah, I mean,
which is a proper league, like a Pontins league.
Yeah, I think a league would be better because you obviously judge and you can turn on to a card at the bottom.
Competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a massive talking point probably from when I played in terms of I don't know when the reserve league would have gone, but they've obviously tried to amalgamate the 23s. Then they bring senior pros into play.
Yeah.
But the issue again with that is the senior pros don't want to be there. It's an under 23 league.
You got Tom Hiddleston playing for Man United under 23, isn't it?
Yeah,
which is a weird
years ago, the kid at Southampton, which I thought was crazy. It's a great idea, but obviously the club are paying him. Yeah, the club are paying him, which I think ultimately it's got to be the right. It's got to be the right
player, right time of his career and stuff like that.
Because you can't get to that end of the career where you're tossing it off, and
but then I can see the benefit of it. Like to say, use Tom Hiddleston as an example. Like I suppose he's the coach of the 23s, I think, but he's also plays in centre midfield, and he's talking them through the games, directing traffic if you like. And he was always good at that as a player anyway. And I can see the logic to it, but it just seems like such a weird thing. He's never played for United.
No.
They've signed him specifically to.
I think the kids. I think Southampton started a couple of years ago. So I was listening to TalkSport, and I can't remember the player's name. But going back to me coming through sort of 15, 16, we go to the likes of Birmingham. I mean, Arsenal were in our league.
But when you would have played then, wouldn't in those reserve team games, you'd be coming up against legitimate first team players who will come back from injury and stuff.
Yeah,
big names.
Massively. I mean, I didn't play the game, but Arsenal came down. I think Merson played, Parler played, Anelka played. So I knew some of the boys who played, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's a great experience. But I remember with Birmingham, and I was a Man United fan when I was a kid, as well as Cardiff, and Danny Wallace was playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kept myself on the bench. I can't believe it. It's Danny Wallace. But it's a tough one. I think football's changed a lot. In those days, you'd go there and it'd be a learning process for you. You'd get smashed about. It wouldn't always be Burnham or Arsenal. You'd be going down to bloody Exeter and getting smashed by 6 or 5 centre forward, and it was proper football.
Yeah. So the reason I ask is, right, say there was a proper reserve team league now, right, and you have the likes of maybe 𝐷𝐻e𝐻e's coming back from an injury, Colwell's not getting many minutes. If they go and play competitive football in the week, in between games or whatever, and they're playing proper men's football, that's only going to get them more prepared for when they're required on Saturday. Yeah. Romeo could have played a couple of games. Panzo could have played a couple of games. Even
I think it's catch-20. In my
Colwell would be more ready for the first team because he's played men's football instead of it's suddenly being a jump. Do you know what I mean?
I think you look at the lower teams in League 2 and League 1 where players going out.
Yeah.
If the reserve teams come back, you probably find a lot of players wouldn't go out on loan. They'd be happy to play in Cardiff City reserves them rather than go and play.
But then do you know what happens with that, mate? Right? To say that was the case, you have people like Joel Colwell, who's 17?
Yeah.
he'll go out on loan. So what you have is, because years ago, it used to be the young kid, like the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, you'd more go on loan. The 20-year-olds, you were kind of expected to be either first team ready or.
Yeah.
I think with the loan system, historically, if you look at it, you've got to be so careful with it, because even when I was, we were third, second division, we get players coming down from. Do you remember Paul Shaw come from Arsenal? Maybe the next, like Ian Wright.
Yeah.
He come down to us, coming at a barn door. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's coming from London, like a massive club, Arsenal, where he's got everything laid out to him. And to me, it's a massive. It's answering your question. It's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
So if he come down and go, I'm going to muck in here, I'm going to show him what I can do. Yeah, but he's probably come down.
He's a
Well,
different
shithole. I don't know anyone.
shithole, and yeah.
And again, from like Cardiff's point of view, they could send 𝐷 out to Torquay or someone, someone like that. It's a massive culture shock for him. And like you're saying there, it might be better. It might be better to play the reserve games.
They could also damage him as well, couldn't they?
And it's Matt said, the catch-22, because you've got to be careful. Like you said about Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston, he's getting paid by Man United. He's going in every day, living a dream. The flip side of it is an older pro, who knows he's not getting another contract. The manager doesn't like him. Now the manager's telling him, right, you're going to the kid tomorrow. You've got to be careful, then, because that older pro can all of a sudden,
Yeah. Well, that's why Jadon Sancho is not allowed to train with the kids now, isn't it? Because he is causing a bit of a.
The other thing you can bring into the equation now is agents. The agents are being there here going, you ain't playing reserve game tomorrow.
Do you have an agent in your day?
Just at the start, nothing serious. It's just about style. But the agent who's got 𝐷w𝐰 now, I know him really well. And whenever I speak to him,
Isaac was under Danny Cardone.
Jamie Morley's the head of this, who's 𝐷w𝐰 group. But whenever I don't speak to him often, when I speak to him, he does it the right way. So there's nothing given to the kids. It's not about, what boot deals. No, you've got to go and earn it.
Yeah.
And like you look at him now, I think he scored 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah.
Isaac over there.
Scored 4 in the last 5.
No, that's a move. You're like, do you know what? I think the agent's done a good job on him.
Yeah.
I think he's talking, because Isaac's from Aberdeen, Mountain Ash. You're going to the Belgian league.
What is he, like 18, 19?
Yeah, he's saying
got a
living. But don't get me wrong, he might have gone over there. He hasn't played it, but it's gone over, worked. He's seen a different culture. He's living in a different country. He's standing on his 2 feet away from his parents, probably. That's a good move. Where he could be here and I'll go, there's no reserve game.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's got to be.
I think it's a hard one. I don't think, if I'm honest on that, I don't know if there is an answer. I can only talk from my experience in terms of what it was like. And I wouldn't say it was like go in and go, look at that bit. It was more about, listen, somebody just smashed you in the face. Get on with it.
Yeah.
That's your learning. And if you didn't learn quickly, you obviously you
Faded away.
How many senior pros can drop down and play 23s then?
I'm not 100% sure if there's a limit. There probably is a limit. But then, just going back to that, I don't make it a Tom Hiddleston show, but Tom Hiddleston is not registered to play for Manchester United first team. So he's only there as a player, coach or whatever.
Yeah.
So obviously he would take up one of the spots, I would assume.
But you're taking away from another youngster who's coming through. But
then,
obviously he's still there doing a job and he's bringing on.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the benefit. I really can see. I think it's quite a clever idea. But it's a weird one, isn't it? Rob Boyle in the comments said, Lee, quality player, what's your favourite moment in a Cardiff City shirt?
Oh, a bit of a struggle with it, but by far I was on the way to Scarborough when I got made captain. I was 18 or 19, and Frank Burrows called me, and that was by far the best for me, like captain in my hometown club.
I might be remembering this wrong, mate, so I apologise. Didn't they sell you after that or something? Or like?
No, I fell out massive, like just a massive falling out with Frank.
When it just after that, though?
Just after, yeah. Basically, Russell Osman had the sack. I wasn't playing. Frank came in, put me straight in the team, played the last 22 games, made me captain 4 games, gave me a new contract, basically said, sign whatever you want, we want to keep you at the club. And then literally come back that pre-season and didn't speak to me for probably 2-3 months.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Just put me off the sea. Yeah, it's just a mad one.
That's so weird. What age would you have been then when he like stopped speaking to you, sort of thing? We're not old, you.
19, 20.
So like going back to what you were just saying then about like if Joe Colwell went down to Torquay and like it's a big like homesick or whatever, like the culture shock of it. Like that's got to be difficult. 19, like my oldest boy is like 18, 19 now. Like
I think that
if he just went to work one day and like his manager just stopped speaking to him, like and it'd be difficult to deal with. Do you know what I mean?
I think they probably struggle more now, just because the way the world is now. In terms of boys I speak to now, a lot more insular. Everything on phone, social media. I think COVID got a massive hit.
They get everything not given to
I think when I say Torquay now, you probably going back to my 25 years ago, you probably would have gone to Torquay. They probably would have chucked the kit at you and said, "Well, you've got to wash your own kit." Which is not a massive thing. No. I was part of being an apprentice, but I think if you look at kids now,
they don't do all the jobs.
No, I mean, I think on the last chat we had, when I was doing the academy, the under 13s, you could have knocked me down on a stone. We went to what's Chelsea's training ground.
𝐶e𝐜t𝐲.
Like me turning up there, I'm like, geez, cross is unbelievable.
It is, yeah.
They've got John Terry's just left. All the boys are buzzing. So they've got like 20 pitches, like carpets. They got a 3G. They got this little like 5-a-side, and you're just like that. You shouldn't be because you're there to do a job. And
you can't not be, can you?
And then I thought, you know what? I'll just walk behind the boys just to see what sort of react. Because everything me as a kid. It's unbelievable. And then one boys turned round, and it was June, July time, maybe July, because pre-season. And one of the boys has turned to me and gone, "Can't believe they haven't walked the pitches." Right. And I had to tap his shoulder. I said, "What?" I won like bollocking one. What did you just say? And he goes, "What?" He goes, "They haven't walked the pitches." And like, I was like, "Oh my God." It was just frightening.
That's crazy, isn't it? But like, when you think of it though, right? Like when I go back to, like I'm 42, when I was playing like 15, 16 or whatever, like we used to train on AstroTurf, didn't it? Like proper AstroTurf, get the burns on your legs and shit. But these days, like I'm trying to think, like all of my boys, the facilities they've had just for their practice football teams, like 3G pitches and indoor facilities and access to gyms and all the rest of it, like they got mad facilities. And it's like, it's very kind of like, I think insular is the right word to describe it. Because in the academies, they've taken away all the apprentice jobs, which I think is a massive part of growing up. Because
I don't know why they did it. I really don't. They stopped them first doing boots, which, again, I don't know, is a reason.
Cleaning the stands.
Is there, is the meaning to them? I don't know. But we took pride, don't get me wrong, we had a laugh, we messed around. But you had to take pride, otherwise they're boring.
Yeah. And you had your pro, didn't you? So we had four pros each, and that would be the first job of the day. You go in, clean the boots.
Those boots there cleanly.
Carl there. 𝐷w𝐿, the keeper.
Carl there, the man I'm trying to contact.
Paul Ramsey. And 𝐷w𝐿 𝐿u𝐿. But it was funny because Christmas you'd get tips. So we'd always, and Daly at the time was obviously the top boy, he was on good money. So like, oh right, he's like got 50 quid in that. Ben was on £41 a week. He's like got 50 quid in that hand, like 25 an hour. And the boys were in the little gym in Paris, and the boys were behind me, not going. And I've gone, that one, 50 quid. And then so I had something like 20 quid or something, which one file from month's wages for me. It was a funny story. So I was down Cardiff the other day, and whenever I bump into Ernie, he was my boot boy. So I'd give him 50. But whenever I see him now, I go, yeah, I'm a bit short. 50. He goes, stop asking me for the 50. So he started chasing me on. But yeah, going back to that, I honestly, like I've got my own business now. I'm small business, self-employed. If I didn't have that grounding when I was a kid and I didn't take it the right way, I wouldn't have to work ethic I've done now. And don't get me wrong, there's boys I know now similar age to me who haven't got, they haven't taken that work ethic on, and they're struggling in life. They're really struggling. So football's not the. I've seen it myself. It's not a be all and end all, because there's life after football, whether you're 36 or whether you're 21 or whether you're 16.
But like I say, teacher, I suppose from what you said, it teaches you more than just football. You've got loads of values after playing the game.
100%. If I look back on my 2-year apprenticeship, it wasn't about football. It was about sticking together. It was like helping each other, but it was having a mindset. We get 2 buses, 2 buses from Nottingham, 2 buses home. The academy now, they've got private limiters. I know they tried to stop that, but again, a massive part of a young player now is their agent, and if you haven't got the right agent, if I've got a player and I'm an agent and I turn up and he's never played a 13 game, and he's 18, 19, and he's got a private number, the first thing I'll be saying, listen, get that private number off now, you've done nothing.
Yeah. But there's so many around different football clubs, isn't it, where you see them and they're like multi-millionaires and they've never played a first team game. And it's like, to me, like that was one of the things which Fergie did very well over the years, was how he controlled, like he was, he did gigs a lot, didn't he? And like with Ryan, he would literally be like, the contracts that he'd get would be stagnated. Like, so you have to earn it. Like you'll get it. The big money will come.
I think
you don't get it.
It's a lot harder than obviously the money in the game.
The money's there.
Like something like Sancho. The easiest thing to say is, well, Fergie had him now, you'd have done this. I don't think there's a lot.
Unless you can do, is it?
You look at the agents now, and the agents are coaching their lives for them. And I think unless you've got the right agent, it's a massive part. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a be all and end all, but it's a massive part of that player's life and who he listens to. He probably listens to the agent more than the manager.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And that's what I was going to say. So, like, I got 3 teenage boys, and they've all, even the 14-year-old, they've all had a job, like paper round or whatever, working in a pub, restaurant, reservoirs, whatever. Like, they all work. And that is carried over into other things they do, whether it's their relationships with their girlfriends, whether it's their schoolwork, their stuff at home. It carries over because you have a natural work ethic and attitude to just not expecting everything to come to you. So, like, as soon as my boys started working, they had to pay for their own shit. I ain't buying you stuff. You got a job. I used to say to my oldest one all the time, you got more disposable income than I got. So you want something.
I'm not out of paper.
But you know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, if you're say you're like one of the best players in Cardiff Academy, and you go through all the age groups and you're working your way up and you're in the under 18s or whatever now, the likelihood is you've never had a part-time job in a pub or a restaurant or whatever at like 16, 17. They don't do the jobs. So the only thing they know is to go training at these like multi-million-pound facilities, getting everything done for them. So it must be very difficult for these kids to be able to have the same attitude and mentality that someone like you would have had, or people who come after you who were doing those jobs and were working hard. So when you've got 2 buses over to the training ground or to the stadium because you have to clean the stage, like clean the stands, like you knew you were going there to work, and it's like I think it's a real shame that they've taken the jobs away.
I think a lot of the kids I see now. I mean, we're talking about say the 𝐷v𝐿, so I know the family reasonably well. Where are we talking about the people now who are like almost making it?
Yeah.
You think of the other down Cardiff now, there's probably, I don't know, 15 young pros you'll never hear of in your life. My thinking on that is, football's not going to be there forever for them.
Yeah.
And they'll come out of football now, they'll get released, they might go and play part-time, but unless you've got that grounding in you, and a lot of it's parenting as well.
Of course, yeah.
I say it a lot now, I've got 2 young kids myself. I'm nowhere near as strict as what my parents were with me. And like me and my missus go, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, but it's like it's parents now, how much that changes as well. So parenting's a massive part. Like the 𝐷v𝐿, I know the dad, and he's really grounded. Bumped into him the day before Ruben scored. I bumped into him and I talked to him. Really good, really nice guy. So a lot of that is grounding. But again, I'd always go back to the top players, or the players who make it. They're the most dedicated players. They're the most hard-working players. No doubt in my mind. You know, you look at Messi, probably the most skillful player we've ever seen in our lifetime. I can guarantee you he'd be the hardest working player. If you look at Kane, he's gone to Germany now. He's the hardest working player, you know. So it's not luck that they're the best players, but they've got something in them, you know, a work ethic in them. And it's very hard to instill.
What makes them happen?
No, it's a lot harder now because you look at the world around you now, everyone's got, you know, I think I said to you a story before. When I was a kid under 10, under 12, I go to a Cardiff schools game. And not to sound bad now, but, you know, I was from an estate in Lanarkshire. You could tell by the cars pulling up and the boots kids had on. If I go to a game, a local league, you know, I don't know who the rich kids are, I don't know who the poor kids are, because the kids have got everything.
Yeah.
Every kid's got 150 pairs of clips.
Everything's instant, isn't it?
But again, that comes down to what you say. I'd rather go without now and make sure my boy goes what he wants. And again, it comes down to us as parents, doesn't it?
But what would your parents have?
Exactly. I used to think my father was tight when he used to give me a fiver on a Friday night to go out when I was like 15, 16. It was only when you get old enough to start earning money yourself and think how much you used to have to sacrifice to give me a fiver, my sister a fiver.
100%.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like how football has developed, and like I was there was a picture earlier of Ninian Park on their Facebook, and I was like, I looked at it and I was like, oh, I miss that place like so much. Just like the feeling I used to get when we going through the turnstiles and like whether it was like stood on the Bob Bank or in the Grange End or whatever, like just that feeling of being surrounded by like-minded people. But then obviously you would have been doing jobs around the stadium. You'd have been kind of, what would have happened to you guys then if you'd been messing about like and you weren't doing like, I don't know, if you were supposed to be cleaning the stand or something and you were talking about like
Right.
laps.
You know, we had a really strict youth team manager. He literally wouldn't even think about messing around. Because the way you got punished then as well, it wasn't so if one person cocked up, it'd be all of you.
Yeah.
Where I think now, you probably
They sit that one person out.
set the one person out, and then the issue you've got then is the bullying and the mental health thing comes in then.
Yeah.
You've got to be so careful. It wouldn't be done that way now, because kids just wouldn't, you know, I tell my kids off now, they're like, Jesus Christ, you know, do you know what I mean? It's just a different culture now. I was just scared of you know, my dad only had shot, tell me off once, or give me a clip on the head now, when I was a kid. But now, like, you shout at the kids, and you don't, like, even when I had the 13s, we went down and played Swansea. I think it might have been Ruben's age. We had a really good year. And whenever we went down to Swansea, we were like, what? We've got to smash these now. They're only in the 30s, but listen, we've got to chance it because we've got a really good team. We're going to smash it. And we drew 1-1. And, you know, I knew what it sort of took to get to be in a pro. I said, boys, you've got to be, you know, give them a bit of a dressing down. And literally, like, I could see, like, it's like they'd never been shouted at.
Yeah.
And I see my kids in school, and I was like, yeah, you know, we're just developing it. No, I said, look, if my kids are naughty, tell them off.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying it's all about telling off, but that level of discipline.
The fear's gone, though, isn't it? Like, yeah, I think, because, like, I remember, like, my man used to work taxis, so he'd be, like, sleeping in the day, and then, so, like, you say, like, Saturday or something, we'd be sleeping in the day, and we'd be, like, downstairs with my mates or my brother or whatever, and if you heard him get out of bed before he was supposed to, like, you heard that foot on the floor, you were like, here we go, we're in big trouble now. Like,
What's like the tellies in your house now? I go in, now.
One in every room.
Well, literally, if I went home and my old man was watching something, I said to my missus, no, I come on, my boy's got YouTube on, and I'm sitting there now, and you just fall into it, and you're like, I fall in. Oh, I don't want to watch this shit. Imagine going in and your old man's on a set, you're watching the TV, and you go, right, I'm having that. You'd have gone, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? And
crazy.
again, like going back, I think parenting
It's a big part of it, isn't it?
it.
Big part of it. Right, going back to Cardiff, what do you think's a good season this year then, Lee? Like, has your expectations changed because of the way that they've started?
I don't think so. I think looking at the next few games, I think it's going to be a massive barometer where they can finish. But I think, you know, not to sound too boring and to write a season off. Look, if they get to the playoff, I think it'd be a massive bonus. But I think going back to last year, like you said, I think the last couple of years has been
Painful.
But I think that's a fan, especially like knowing Cardiff fans. Now we've got to 9. Oh, we should have been in the playoffs. It's not just the Cardiff
Progress, isn't it?
It's and I think
In a short space of time as well.
as a manager, you know, it could have been so much worse. He should have come in, and I think people have raised their eyebrows in the summer and gone, Jesus, we don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
No,
It's
we're
nice to see the game, the footballers actually check on the park.
Do you know what I like about the manager though? Is he's not scared to have a go at the team if they're not doing what he wants them to do, or he doesn't think they're putting effort in. He's not afraid to single out players, but on the same hand, it does seem like his door is open if those players then want to go and have a talk with him. Because there was the thing when he singled out Robinson, said he wasn't trying to have enough in training and wasn't putting the effort in. And then it come out the next week, Robinson played well, and the following week and got a goal, I think. And then it come out that they'd had a meeting because Robinson had gone to him and said, right, you know, I would assume that he'd gone to him and said, right, what am I not doing, or what is this?
I think you've got to be. I think it's again a culture thing, because you've got to be careful.
Don't mind personalities.
Yeah, but is it a foreign manager thing? Like, you look at Mourinho, you know, you look, you look at foreign managers. They come out and slam players. To me, like, I don't really know what you gain out of it, because he's come out, like you said about Robinson, he's come out and say slammed him in the press. Then he's pulled him as a private chat, and then come out and Robinson said, well, I don't really know what he's gaining from telling Lennon out the back. He could have just done it in house. Like I said about Colwell on the weekend. Now, I don't. Is that open? Is that going to happen? I don't think
It
Colwell.
depends on the mentality of the player, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you've got the mentality of, right, I'm going to show you, or if you've got the mentality of maybe it just depends on your personality. Because you know from coaching, like, some players will respond to being a bit more harsh with them and say, come on, you're better than that, you know, whatever. Or some need a bit more of an arm around them and, come on, mate, what's going on? You know,
Yeah.
it's
I just the thing for me is that I just don't think he needs to do it in the press. I just don't. I think
you think it should be all be an
well,
attitude.
especially like Colwell said, he's a young boy.
I think is he that young now? Was he
20, 21.
Not
I know
old,
he's
yeah.
got. I know he's got experience, but I just don't. I don't
He's not like a.
Take a bit more, it's as if he's like trying to pass the back in the responsibility, which I don't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
he is.
he could have come out and said, "Oh, maybe you know," he could have just come out and said, "Maybe I made the sub at the wrong time. Maybe I should have done one sub at a time."
You could have just said we switched off, and I think people wouldn't have disagreed with it, like, because I thought for the 2 goals that Norwich scored in the second half, I think defensively we did just switch off, like, and
I just think we were very sloppy Saturday.
Yeah.
So many. I think 𝐷𝐸, that's probably the quietest game I've seen him. I know he's still full of energy, but that's probably the
I
quietest.
saw someone in the comments say something about people saying the players look tired. I don't really think that's the only reason that maybe they look a bit tired is because he doesn't rotate it that much, especially with defenders like that back 5, apart from Romeo, like with NG, they played pretty much every game. So I could maybe they're a bit tired mentally, but 𝐷𝐸 I could understand being tired just because of how he plays, and he's played every game and he doesn't tend to come off. But ultimately, like, I just thought Cardiff were a bit lax in the second half. They switched off defensively, probably didn't work hard enough, weren't clinical in front of goal, and those things just kind of all add up, you know.
I think as well. Whenever you lose, everything's highlighted.
Of course,
And I think the other thing, the way Cardiff have been this year, to lose like the 3 games that come to mind, there's nothing worse than that. Because in your head, you're at the ground and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, 20 more minutes, I'll be in the pub here, you're going to be 6.
yeah.
What's going on there now? Hang on a minute. So those 70 minutes before, where it's been like the Bristol game, I don't know what you boys thought, the Bristol game, I don't think they did anything spectacular. I thought Bristol were poor on the day, but I thought City were comfortable. But I wouldn't, if you asked me to say, oh, like Cole coming on scoring a goal, yeah, it was magic. But I can't really remember us going, you know, being there going, oh, this is amazing football. We were just in control, and we scored at the right times. Like I said, a lot just highlights everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And I said, I put a post up earlier saying that, like I thought we against Rotherham, I thought we kind of got away with one because I thought Rotherham was by far the poorest team I've seen this year. They've sacked their manager today as well. But like, we kind of just did enough to beat them on the day. But I felt like actually, if we'd really got at them, we probably could have won 3-4. They were terrible.
You boys watched Cardiff a lot more than me. Do you think Cardiff this year have got that in them? You know, you take Ramsey out of there.
I do think they got it in them. I like with Bowler and 𝐷w𝐬t.
I think we look at white players.
Just, I think they need a striker, and I think in those big moments, I think sometimes we haven't been clinical enough. So, like the one I use as an example, we beat Sunderland 1-0, right? That should have finished 3-0 because straight after we scored, we had two clear cut. Like Tanner had one, and he was literally just him in the area, and the keeper, and he didn't even hit the target. And it's like that was a 𝐶e𝐈l's assist as well. But then, and we did similar in the Leicester game. 𝐻i𝐻mate had a massive chance to make it 2-1 to us, I think, and then he missed the keeper saved or he missed it, and then they go up and like he's bobbling about in the area.
I think that'll come to the end of the season. Those are the types of games where we miss clear-cut chances like that. Will be whether or not we finish 10th or 12th, or we are up there in the mix for the playoff.
But then in the start of the season, right, I said, if you remember, I said what I would like to see is Cardiff finish in the top 12, top half, and then next year, like spend a bit of money in the summer, and then push on for the playoffs next year. If the playoffs don't come off, push on for automatics the year after. And kind of, I'd like to see the club, the board, the fans, the manager, like actually build something instead of just kind of going for a season. It's terrible. Sack the manager, and it's just a constant fucking.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Rejig.
With fans, like all
impatient, isn't it?
Yeah, all fans want to be. You know, it cracks me up when you listen to some of these phone-ins and talk.
I know, mate, today.
Because, like, in the league, there's 24 teams. Not everyone can be the top two. You know, and if you listen to the majority of them, from 12 down, it's all like, is that the manager? Bring someone. But, like you said, unless you've got continuity at the club, we'll be back to what we have been the last 2-3 years. And I think now, I think the club, I think Cardiff, you know, the interest in the city, or you know, people are all talking about Cardiff.
Yeah, the crowds are going.
The crowds are better. I said the word. It was great at Bristol City game to see an half-decent crowd there, you know, and a bit of a buzz.
But like, if you said to us at the start of the season, right, we're going into the international break at the start of November, and you're 9th, level of points with a couple of teams, and you're within 3 points of the playoffs, it's slapped your hand off for that. But, and this is what annoyed me about Saturday, about the fans booing the team off. Look, I get it. You pay money, you can do what you want. Whatever. Like, I get it. But to me, like, going back to Ninian Park, one of my favourite things about Ninian Park and about Cardiff when I grew up into it and watching them and stuff was that no matter what was going on in the football pitch, like everyone was together. And I remember games where we were shit, but the fans did not stop supporting the team and they were behind it. And I think sometimes I felt like when I heard those boos, I was a bit like, Jesus Christ, you want to go back in time 12 months and watch us struggle to be shit
like I said, I don't get down a lot, but do you think, you know, you guys are down a lot more, do you think in terms of the fan base, again, like that's saying about kids, how they've changed mentality-wise? I mean, like what you were saying earlier,
social media generation.
Well, yeah, you look at Ninian Park, it was probably, you know, mostly working class people who worked all week, went to the game on a Saturday. Now, like,
we've got jokes back of the South Wales Echo.
Yeah, and you have like point after whatever, but now you look at it, I think the stadium itself, we can't necessarily do what I'm comparing it.
No,
but it's a lot. You know, do you find the fan base is different? Do you find their mentality is different.
It was tribal back in the day, and
Yeah.
now it's a day out.
Yeah, but I think, you know, part of that comes with the prices of everything. Like I said, like it's not a cheap day. So you know, you take your boy or you go with your mates. You're spending nearly £100, like unless you've got a season ticket or something like
But
that.
then part of that, do you think it's an entitlement to go on and paying? You know, my
Yeah,
partner,
and I think that is what comes with it. Is because everything is so expensive. When it suddenly goes wrong, people feel, well, no, I paid fucking whatever, and I've spent £6 on a pint and you know or whatever on food for my kid or whatever. So
I was
I
thinking tickets in the family end, and I don't know about where you sit well and that, but our season ticket, the people around us are different every week. So
Yeah.
you know, people
It's passed
booing.
around like
You say about people booing, so it'd be interesting to see the ones who do actually boo, are the ones who are there regular week in, week out.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how many was it? Am I making it up? Like I said, there was 18,000 season tickets sold.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
7.5, 18. But interestingly, I saw a few people on some of the Facebook groups like complaining about some of the kids, like teenagers in the Canton stand. And they were just like, a lot of them are like on their phones playing games, and they're more interested in like taking a Snapchat and stuff like that rather than the game. And they're not really, you know,
engaged.
yeah, like to me, I don't know. Maybe it's different for me because I went with my dad for like just a couple of games, and then I stopped going like because he was working and stuff, and then I started going with my mates when I was like 13 or something like that, and then I kind of just progressed into like old teenager and adult. But like I was so engaged and then so like for Cardiff and for the game.
I love the away games I do because the atmosphere is what.
Yeah.
When you go to an away game, you'd love that atmosphere to be like a home game.
You never replicate it.
No, it's,
But
going back-
the same, more the closer thing you'll get to Union Park
cultures. You don't get that.
With that as well.
Scarborough.
You go away from Union, and to be fair, go to an away game, I know it's a bit better now. You get treated like shit.
Yeah.
You've got that siege mentality,
Right.
which is like, you know, what, we'll show them now, and you make the day of it. But again, you know,
You look at it, don't you?
yeah, and you look at all the points you've made today. All the points you've made today are basically because Cardiff lost the game in the last 20 minutes.
Could be a different story if like Grant takes that chance, Cardiff win, and we're sat here
But
saying,
ultimately, that's football. But it's mad, isn't it? You look at it, and for whatever aspect, we've gone through everything. We've gone through the subs, we've gone through the stadium.
tactics, everything.
What's the crowd like?
Academy. We haven't even got to the ref yet. God, she was shit, man. You know.
Can't say that anymore.
I think that's when they were booing at. They were booing the ref, not the players.
But I saw some people like, there was some people who were saying some fucking horrendous shit like on Twitter and stuff. And I was just like, you could say she's shit without taking it like that far. Like she was just shit ref. But the refereeing standard in the Championship and Premier League is about as poor as I can ever remember it in my 30-odd years of watching football week in, week out. Like, I can't remember the standard of refereeing being as bad as it is. And I know people will blame VAR, but a lot of the Championship refs, they're not really doing VAR. So it's not that.
I think a lot of the human touch has gone out of it now. Like, you know, again, going back, and you don't want to go back because it's time to move on, and that's
Yeah, you've got to get
problem.
everything.
But you know, you got refs nowadays. You like don't even want to.
Talk to you in the games, isn't it?
Well, they talk to you in the game, but they say to you, "Listen, shut the effing hell up." You're talking. Half these refs not mic'd up.
They refuse to talk to the players, didn't they?
Straight away, I got reffed in a game. 𝐷r𝐾s𝐿g𝐸 refed me. I was playing for Western Superman. We played Weymouth, but that was where he was from. I think it was Hampshire, and they could ref in their own county.
Oh,
So we turned up on a Tuesday night to play Weymouth. No one gave a shit about the football. We were like, 𝐷r𝐾s𝐿g𝐸's refing us. So first 5 minutes now, cut the tackles, fly in. You know what? He goes, listen, I'm not listening to you all. Just shut up now. Everyone just went, okay, let's go in the game. But I think the human element of it, And I think these refs are so scared and they're all mic'd up, and you've got a fourth official, and you've got how many cameras in the ground. I think that human element has gone out of refereeing, and they're going to make mistakes.
Of course they are. But, do you know what I think is a big problem with it? Is the lack of referees. So what they ended up doing is young referees are getting fast-tracked. So years ago, you'd go like grassroots academies, lower leagues, like non-league, bit of lower league, and you'd work your way up. So by the time you got to the Championship or Division 1 and 2 or Championship and Premier League, by the time you got to that level, they had hundreds of games under their belt. They were experienced with dealing with people, dealing with hostile crowds, dealing with... Because if you've come up through a non-league and there's like 50 fans there, and you can hear every fucking insult and every complaint about your decision making, you get a bit of a thick skin, but you also get to like just deal with different players and aggression and blah blah blah. So by the time you get to that top level, you're experienced referee. Some of these refs, like, they've barely got 100 games under their belt as a referee, and like, to me, that's what the problem is. Like that referee on Saturday, there was a point where she gave like a corner, and I think it was a Norwich corner, and then before the corner got took, she gave a free kick to us for pushing before the corner took. So the ball wasn't even in play. As far as I'm aware, that's not like, you're not supposed to do. You've got to be in play to give a free kick. So, but it was like she just looked. It was weird though, because she started first, I think 15, 20 minutes. She was all right.
She booked Robinson for kicking the ball away because he had a shot.
I know, it's just
Well, not bad.
weird shit.
It wasn't that later shot. Like,
But like, she was all right for the first, say, quarter of the game, and then all of a sudden, she did just seem to go to pieces, and she made terrible decisions that you could see, like, that both benches were just constantly on their feet, going nuts.
I think years ago as well, it's obviously changed a lot now. Years ago, you could go into the referee's room after, believe it or not.
Mm.
I don't know if that's still a thing.
Well, then
now.
they won't speak to him on the pitch, will they?
Well, and this is the other issue, because that lazy ref Saturday, she might go in after the game and she go, listen, I made a cut. If you show a bit of humility and go, listen, I've got that. Bullet might go, listen, if you just did this a little bit better. But what happens is they go off to an assessor who's an ex-referee, and they go, you've done this really well, you know what? And they look at it as a referee's point of view, where it can be so frustrating as a footballer or a manager or a coach, where once it's settled down, don't get me wrong, there might be a game where it's kicked off and it's like terrible and you can't. But sit down with the two managers after and say, well, what do you think I've done well? What do you think I can improve on? But again, that's gone. Oh, no, can't talk. Right, go.
No, like,
Speak to the assessor. Oh, you've done that really well. You've blown that on top. You've blown that at the time. You've checked his laces. You've checked his tape.
do you think cameras have spoiled it for us?
Yeah.
Because too many cameras, every single decision is
Well, I think
videoed. Whereas back in your day, Lee, you could barely get it on ITV News. You'd have like 10 seconds.
on Sunday, wouldn't you?
So there's less people saw every decision now. Every decision is analysed 20 times over.
I think you're right, mate. Do you know why I said that? Because I was trying to find some clips of 𝐷r𝐸 playing for Cardiff just to use as promotion for this next evening. Get your tickets now. And then links in the description below. Only apply it. And then, but like, I could only find like there was one or two like fan film doing him taking a penalty. I'm like, that's not that long ago, is it? 𝐷r𝐸 was captain of Cardiff. What? 10 years? 12 years, maybe? Like, I was like, fucking hell.
He's got more in now than he did when he was playing.
I need some of it.
But like,
It's the thing with the
that's
cameras,
weird, isn't it?
I know what you're saying, well, all that, but that's not going to change. It's not going to get worse. They're going to get more cameras.
Well, I think an interesting thing today about someone did, who's it? I don't know. Some guy did like a video about the VAR and the refereeing, and he said how he would change it is VAR was brought in to change like clear and obvious thing. So if you can't see it on a replay in 30 seconds, then it's not clear and obvious. So you bin it off, and whatever the referee on the pitch decision was, that's what it stays as. So he said there would be 30 seconds to watch the replay, and if for fouls, he said the referees should have to watch it in real time. So if you can't tell if it's a foul in real time, because in the replays, if they slow them down and they like still image and it looks
scoring a goal in the Premier League now is not. It's horrible.
It's
Not
horrible.
going to be the same.
Absolutely horrible. Like you see these last-minute winners. I seen one game the other week where someone scored in like the 96th minute to equalise or to win, and you can see them like they're going nuts, and then they sort of stop and like, oh, we've got to wait just in case there's a bar. I think it just takes the.
And if you're a 2-0 offside, man, that's just
exactly that.
You've got to give advantage to the attacking player. He's trying to open up goals.
I think what's starting now is the VAR has only come in, done it when the VAR think there's an obvious mistake. But in that game yesterday, the 4-4, if you notice, I think what will happen, the refs will start making more decisions because you'll make the decision. It might be totally wrong, but it only ever get turned up. Like it's only going to get turned. Listen, you need to look at that. But yesterday, he made, like I thought the Haaland the penalty. I thought he fouled 𝐾v𝐞r𝐧 first, but he made the decision. And unless it's clear and obvious, it can't turn over. So I think what you'll start seeing, whether it's right or wrong, referees will just start making more decisions. They'll just start making decisions on the spot and then wait for it to get overturned if it's obvious.
I think I'd rather that though than at least they're making decisions, because the amount of refs I see in the Premier League don't make decisions because they know they got VAR, so they're like, oh, if it's there, they'll pick it up. Like, but like, it's the consistency in it in refereeing. Like that Haaland one, like if that's a penalty, but then there was one in the Arsenal. United, and it's exactly the same, if not worse. And it's like, but there's no consistency. You have like Rashford got sent off last week on Tuesday, where he's trying to shield the ball, and then the next night, slow motion, they send him off. Literally the next night, Liverpool player does exactly the same thing, exactly the same, trying to shield the ball. Actually catches the guy like a bit higher up on his shin, and doesn't get anything. And it's like that's 24 hours apart, and I think it spoils it. But in terms of the referee for the Cardiff game, look, I don't want to be too cut in because I'm sure she's had a lot of abuse since Saturday, but it was not good enough. And unfortunately, the world that we live in now, the Championship is a multi-million pound business. Like you get relegated from the Championship, you can go into free fall, you can end up the club going into administration. There's such a big risk that these clubs are taking. They pay big wages, so if they go down, it's a problem. And these decisions and these performances by referees cost teams long term.
And I think the Football League got to look at that. Like, they're fast tracking the referees. If they are putting referees in for games who are not nowhere near the level they need to be at, then that's got to be.
They have to find a better way to do it. And then, but I thought, was it the Bristol game? I can't remember. The most recent game I went to, it was the Bristol game, because I watched it in the Navy Lounge. I thought the referee was shocking that day. There was a couple of decisions. There was that penalty, one there to all in there. It was first half. Cardiff should have had a penalty against was it Bristol? I can't remember. I had one of the games which I went to.
I think it's one of the. I got into the Bristol game, like you're saying that. I can't remember the ref, and I think if you say that,
that's probably a good game. It might not have been a Bristol game.
I can't remember anything standing up as a Bristol game.
It was the back pass. That fucking back pass. I could not believe what I was watching. Where comes across and the Bristol player just side passes it back to the keeper. And it's like, if that's not a back pass, then I do not know what's going on. And like, I've been in some angry crowds over the years.
Yeah. But I don't think at the time the keeper just kicked it, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what the keeper.
Yeah, they don't know what he's doing. Because you're giving the ref a decision, didn't you? But like, I've been in some angry crowds over the years, and that was about as like everyone just going nuts like at the same time. Everyone's so angry, but that's just, to me, that's like basic. So if you're doing basic decisions that badly wrong, then I think you've got to.
Maybe it's tough going direction. I don't know.
It's difficult.
I think what you're saying, like millions and that go into the game. Like, I don't know if any of us got the answer. What the easy fix it was.
I just don't understand. Obviously, my background playing rugby, but I've always preferred watching football. But rugby players would never get away with speaking to the referee the way in which footballers do.
But then the referees in rugby, to me, I don't watch a lot of rugby, granted, but they always, it's very rare that they seem to get the decisions wrong. So to me, it's like,
it's much more clear cut, isn't it?
yeah, like, is that because they're more experienced? Is it because they're better trained? Is
I
it
think the
because
game is so
maybe
many
the game is a bit slower?
There's
I
so
don't
many
know.
more variables in football. Like one incident, you can pick about 5 things. Or with rugby, sometimes it's either a high tackle or a knock on. It's clear as day.
Yeah.
With football, is he leaning on him? Is his foot caught in there? There's so many different variables.
I'd like to see the referees just be stricter. And,
Yeah, the respect side of it. I mean, they've got the things in place, haven't they, to send off the swearing. I think when they put the initiatives in August, start doing it. You know, but I think a football mentality is you get like the stroppy, like, well, you sent them off to swear, I'm going to swear now. Oh, we've got 4 sent off. Look how stupid it looks now. Yeah, but you've all sworn.
Yeah.
Where rugby, it's a respect. You know, you go, stop swearing now, you'll understand. Where football, it'd be like, oh, it's ridiculous now. You sent 4 of us off.
More petulant.
Yeah,
Did they bring the 10-yard rule into football in your day, mate? Because that was in for a little bit, wasn't it?
yeah.
Where they moved it forward.
The one I find
mad
when you look back at clips is the back pass.
Yeah.
So I think the back pass was 90, was it?
Yeah,
Around 90. When you watch games, it's like the Arsenal, Liverpool,
And they just knock it back to the keeper.
Hansen plays it to 𝐷w𝐰, back to 𝐷w𝐰, and they just keep doing it, and they come back and bite them in the arse in the end, doesn't it?
But yeah, it is weird when you watch them back in
Yeah,
the back pass. It's definitely very quickly then, like 1-word answers. Would you get rid of VAR? So the choice is keep it as it is and kind of keep developing it, or just have goal line technology and no other video referee whatsoever, and just go back to human error.
Yeah.
Would you do that, or would you stick with what it is?
I'd probably have goal line and offside, and then human error, because they're making more errors now.
I think they are as well. What would you do, Matt?
yeah, I'd get rid of it. It's spoiling the game for me. I think I'm just glad that we haven't got it as far down as that yet.
I think it'll be coming. I don't know what the thing is.
I think it'll take so much more from
This is
the
why I
actual
don't
game, the
want to get promoted.
atmosphere
I
in
don't want to
the
have to
ground
deal
as
with
well.
that.
You know what it's like, get down the stadium when we score, it goes mad, doesn't it, for a minute or two. But to take that element away and not knowing if it is going to be a goal or not.
But on the back of that, do you think somewhere along the line they're making money off it?
Yeah.
I think in time, obviously, I don't know if they do it on the Premier League, but they'll start having like the bloody NFL. They'll have the adverts on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's obviously because it is coming to the championship.
Sponsorship.
They're trying to get in the championship.
Yeah, they'll be in the championship by next year.
And there'll be chaos because they won't have the processes and the amount of people to do it all. But again, why haven't we got ex-players on the VAR? Just put an ex-player on
They
there.
have racing drivers do the stewarding in the
But you know what I think they don't, why I think that they will never will, is because every ex-player has got some type of agenda or.
different divisions. You can have a player who's played in the 4th division all his career do the Premier League.
The other thing is,
But then what does I know, like someone who's played, like say, semi-professional or like non-league football or lower league football know more than someone who's, I don't know, played like academy to the kid and then played like men's football week in, week out.
In terms of the agenda, though, so I think in the VAR now they've still got 2. It's just not one person. They've got like a group of them. But surely just have one ref, one ex-player, and one being tech guy.
It just makes no sense to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I just don't know they can get it so wrong.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Just bring back Richard Key and Andy Gray on a Monday night football with it. We've got the yellow and red lights.
Oh, they'd be happy with that woman's ref, didn't they?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He'd got sacked all over again.
Oh,
Right, I think we'll wrap it up there on the referee thing. What do you say, Will, about VAR, or would you have it as this and keep trying to build on it, or would you
I get rid
bin
of
it?
all technology and slow-mo replays.
Good effort. I think I'd keep goal line technology because generally speaking, I think that's only failed once, hasn't it?
Yeah, the goal line is just a chip in the ball anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Which
Pretty
is same as
straightforward,
cricket,
isn't it?
right?
But they did get it wrong once.
Yeah, it was it failed, didn't it? But I mean, generally speaking, like it's worked pretty well, hasn't it? And I think when you look back over the years, there's been several big game incidents like at World Cups and Champions Leagues where the ball's gone over the line and it didn't get called. saying,
Most
unfortunately,
of them were against England, so I'm happy to keep that out of football.
Yeah, maybe we should get rid of that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us, everyone. I know there's loads of comments and that we didn't get to them tonight. We're too busy talking, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Lee Jarman. Thank you for joining us.
No worries, son.
Really appreciate it. And of course, Matthew Angel, down from the Fleur.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you, mate. And Will in the background, of course, as well. And remember, Cardiff City Fan Show every Monday, Rummer Tavern. You're all welcome. Just come down. Come down, grab a drink, come say hello, have a chat about Cardiff City. But Rodri Gates on Football Thursday, make sure you join us. And gay tickets for an evening with Darren Pearce, 1st of December, only £5. Links in the description. Make sure you get them. There's only, I think there's a few left, but not a lot. See you Thursday. Ta-ra now.